Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 31 of the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I am your host, Bobby, and I am coming to you from New Brunswick, Canada. Today is Wednesday, May the 16th, 15th? I'm not exactly sure. I should have checked that before I started, but oh well. Yeah, I am recording on a Wednesday, a little out of sorts here. The past couple of weeks have been a little crazy for me, but I wanted to get a podcast out this week because I have a lot to share with you guys. So we're just going to go with it. And oh my gosh, we have a co-host. This is my furry little co-host, Miss Rami. You gonna say hello, Rami? This is my adorable cat. She's a little over a year old now. And yeah, it's really funny because whenever somebody calls me, she's always like right here. She always comes up to me and she's always gotta say hello to. So yeah, here she is. Say hi, Rami. Oh, she just saw a bird. So she's beautiful, but unfortunately she can't stay on the table because that's where all the yarn is. So, okay. So you got to see Rami. That was good. So yeah, I'm first going to start off the podcast before I forget by welcoming any new viewers who may be tuning in for the first time. Welcome. And to my returning viewers, welcome back. It's so nice to have you guys, and I really appreciate the love and support that you guys send me every week. So thank you so much. So where can you find me? You can find me on Instagram as Inspired Knitting Podcast. You can find me on Ravelry as X Country Girl 1986X. And we also have a group for the podcast over on Ravelry as well as Inspired Knitting Podcast. So you can head over there. There's actually a thread for introductions. So do head on over and introduce yourself and share what you're working on. There is like a what you're working on thread, and yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. I haven't done any knit-alongs or anything like that yet, but I do host some giveaways, and so that's the place you can find all that fun stuff. There's also detailed show notes as well. I always post them here on YouTube in the description bar, but if you head on over to my Ravelry group, you can find direct links to the patterns that I talk about. So lots of fun there. If you wish to reach out to me, you are more than welcome to do so. I love hearing from you guys. I always suggest that email is the best way, or Ravelry. I do check Ravelry almost every day. So if you wish to email me, though, my email is sweetcomfortdesigns@gmail.com. So with all that out of the way, we will get started because there is a lot to talk about. So first of all, I'm going to get some administration stuff out of the way first. And we have a drawing for the Couix shawl pattern. So I announced this a couple weeks back, and I opened up a thread on Ravelry. In my Ravelry group, and I was giving away the Couix shawl pattern, which is a pattern by Cozyupdesigns. It is a 2-color crescent shaped shawl. So I opened up a thread and I asked, if you were to win this pattern, what yarns would you use? So the lovely ladies over at Cozyupdesigns actually are donating the pattern, which is really sweet and amazing of them. So let's get started here. I went into the thread beforehand because I do use my phone to record the podcast, and we had one entry, but that's okay. We had one entry, and the winner is Harris M0610, and that is Mary from New York. So congratulations, Mary. You have just won the Chrissy Shawl pattern. So what you can do is head on over to Ravelry and contact Jamie from Cozyupdesigns. She goes under Jamie Black on Ravelry. So just send her a message and let her know that you won the giveaway, and she will gift you your pattern. So yay, congratulations. So happy about that. So, okay. Now that we have that out of the way, that was pretty much it for administration for this week. So I guess I'm just going to do a tiny bit of chatter and then really get on into the show. So what has been going on the past 2 weeks? Well, it's been fairly busy. So the last time we spoke, I said that I was heading off to PEI for the weekend, and we did. It was amazing. It was pretty rainy though, which was kind of sad. We almost didn't go. We almost called the trip off, but we decided to go anyways. We had been planning it for months, and different things had showed up in our lives that just put it off. So we were like, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go and enjoy ourselves. So we went to Kensington PEI, and there was the Trailside Yarn Shop, and it was wonderful. I really enjoyed that shop. It was nice. It was a little bit hard to get into. There was like 3 doors. 2 of them were to the yarn shop, we knew for sure, but there's like a mattress place next door, and we did not know that it's all one. So we could have went in that door, which essentially would have been easier to get into, because if you're new to the podcast, I am in a wheelchair. So we couldn't take my power wheelchair that I'm always using. We had to take my manual. So the mattress place actually had the easier access. Like, it just had a lip to get in, and the ones at the yarn store were a little bit higher. So my boyfriend, he managed, and the lady that owns the yarn shop, she was really great too, and she helped us out. But when we went to leave, we took the easier door out. But besides that, it was completely amazing. I really loved it. I feel really bad because I didn't ask the lady her name. I was just so taken by everything. I was just taking in the whole shop around me, and we got to chit chat with her for a while, and it was so nice, but I totally blanked. I didn't get her name. So if you are watching, I am so sorry about that. It was really nice meeting you, and I do hope that I get the chance to come back and visit your shop again, because it is lovely. So I'm just going to show you her card here really quick. My boyfriend picked one up. So I don't know if that's going to appear backwards for you guys or not, because it is to me, but anyways, that's her card, and I thought that was like really cute. You can see her email in that. So what I will do is I will put all this in the show notes. So if you guys wish to check them out, you can. So yeah. That was really fun, and I will share more with you guys about that in Stash Acquisitions, because I did some shopping, so I won't talk too much about it now. I'll wait till the end, just in case you don't like all the chatter. So yeah, it was really fun. So if you are in the Maritimes, or you are planning to head to the island, definitely head on over to Kensington and check them out, because it's really nice. So I'm going to try to add some photos in, probably when I might do it now, or I might wait till the end of the podcast to throw some pictures in that. We got some really cool pictures of the Confederation Bridge and of the yarn shop, and just some different landscape pictures that we got on our route. We went from Kensington to Charlottetown, and there is some beautiful, beautiful fields. You really get to see the red dirt of the island, which I always love that part. And there's a lot of potato farmers, and yeah, it's just wonderful. Although it was like a gloomy, rainy day, it was still very, very nice, and we enjoyed ourselves. So I will definitely try to insert those pictures somewhere here in the podcast so you guys get to see the beauty of the island, because it's rather stunning. So yeah, that was fun. So among the many treasures that I got, I'm actually going to share one of them with you guys right now, because this actually didn't come from the yarn shop. When you cross over into the island, there's like this really cute little village, and it's got some restaurants and some different things. And I had went to the island 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, and we had visited it then. But I think it's changed a lot. The souvenir shop has changed a lot. It seems kind of different to me, but it's stunning. It's beautiful. And amongst the many treasures, we got a couple little things. I wanted to grab some souvenirs for some friends, and so we did that. And in the mist, I end up finding this beautiful sweet cup, and I couldn't resist it. I was looking at some different cups. I knew I wanted to get a cup, but this one, it just screamed out to me. It's got these adorable, adorable kittens on it. And I'm glad it had an orange one, because Rami's orange. But as you see, they're like little yarn balls, and the kittens are playing with the yarn balls. And hopefully I don't spill my tea, but as you can see, there's like a little kitten inside playing with the yarn. Isn't that cute? Oh, I just love it. There's some yarn going down the handle. As soon as I saw this cup, it had to come home with me. So we got home, and I automatically took it out of the box, and I'm looking at it. I didn't realize this in the shop, but I realized it once I got it out of the box. It is actually fine bone china. And if you know Bobby at all, me owning a china cup that I'm going to use to drink out of often might not be a perfect fit, but I've been extremely careful with it. I don't want to break it or anything like that, because it's so very precious to me now. But yeah, I'm a little nervous that it's china, but yeah, it's absolutely my favorite cup right now. It's wonderful. So yeah, that was one of the things that I picked up. So I do have a tea with me today. It was supposed to be a sunny day here in the Maritimes. It's like 24 degrees, but there was sun this morning, and I was about to go outside, and all of a sudden it just clouded over, and it rained a little bit earlier, so it's really turned in just to a overcast day, and I feel a little cool. I'm always cold, so that doesn't say much, but I feel a little cool. But I had to have a tea, so I have a nice tea here. Nothing special, it's just black tea. So there we go. So there's that. I wanted to share that with you guys. So let's move on right now into finished objects, because I got a few of them. So the first thing I'm going to start off with, I guess, is the most obvious one. I finally finished my sister's shawl, and I am so happy about it. I'm just going to move you guys down a little bit. So I don't know if I want to take it off, because I might not get it back this way again. But this is my sister shawl. This is a pattern by Cozyupdesigns, and they are the girls from Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters. And yeah, they released this pattern back in February, I want to say. and it was a make-along, a mystery knit-along. So yeah, I finally got it finished. Took me long enough, but I got it finished. So it is a beautiful 3-color fingering weight shawl. And yeah, it is just stunning. It's got some mesh and some beautiful eyelets. Oh, there we go. And of course, my favorite part, and I think a lot of people's favorite parts, is the lacy zags. How beautiful is that, guys? That is just stunning. I love it. So yeah, it is absolutely beautiful. I do love it. And yeah, sorry, I'm cheating here. I really don't want to take it off. But it comes down, both ends come to a point like this. So yeah, it's so pretty. I do still have my ends to weave in. I did wash this and block it this past weekend. So now I can weave my ends in. I did a pretty good job, and I really love the way the pattern's written up. It does have an I-cord edging. So as you're knitting the wrap, it is a wrap style. As you're knitting it, it's creating this very structured edge because of the I-cord. So as you're like doing different colors, you can carry them up, and it goes into the I-cord edging, so you don't really see your ends. So there wasn't a terrible amount of ends. When I first started this, I was actually weaving some of them in, so that saved me a lot of work. But there's some places that I still need to weave a couple of them in and finish it off, so it's not that much. So yes, I really, really love this shawl. I'm very happy with the colors that I picked out. I know I have talked about it quite a bit, but I will go over it just quickly. Okay, this is Knit Picks Gloss Fingering, and it's just in the brown colorway, I believe. I don't have ball bands with me, guys, sorry. This is Barnyard Knits and her fingering weight base, and it is actually no, it's her gold stellina base, sparkle base. I don't think my camera is going to pick that up today though, maybe not. But this is in her rustic oak colorway, rustic oak colorway. And then the beautiful blue here is just some Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in the navy colorway. So those were the colors I chose, and I could not be more happier with them. I really, really love it. So yes, it is seriously easy to knit, and it's a fast knit as well. Don't take my time for completing it into count because I ran into some issues. Nothing to do with the pattern. It's just a fault of my own. I was trying to pick yarn from stash to do it, and I thought I had enough of the blue, but unfortunately, because the Knit Picks Stroll Fingering is only sold in 50-gram balls, and I thought I had enough, and I didn't. So I actually set this shawl aside for quite a while. I actually just picked it up last week to finish this off because I finally just had enough. I wanted to get it done and off the needles. So it sat for several months. I had the yarn. I think I bought the yarn a month after I had set it down, but because new shiny things came into the picture, it just kind of got put to the back burner, and I kept pushing it off and off. So yeah, that's fault of my own, which is that story of my life. But it is a very fast knit, super easy to do. There's some seed stitch in here. There's some meshing, and we got some pretty eyelets. The only thing that's, I wouldn't say it's complicated, it's not, is the lacy zags. But it's not complicated at all. You just have to pay attention to what you're doing. I did have to rip back, I think, half of my lacy zags on the first side because I messed it up. But yeah, you just need to concentrate on it, or at least I had to concentrate on it. But it is super easy to do, and it's so worth it in the end. So I love that. The other thing about this shawl, and I guess I do have to take it off to share it with you guys. Bear with me for a moment. Whoa. Okay, where is it? So in the middle of the wrap here, we started it off by doing a provisional cast on. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. That is part of the pattern as well. Or at least I think that's, no, right there. That's where it was. So you're doing a provisional cast on and you're knitting one side of the wrap, and then you're coming back to the middle, picking up those stitches, and then knitting the other half of it. So yeah, it was so much fun, and yeah, I'm glad to have this done because it is really, really nice, and I do love it. And now I'm not going to get it back to the way it was, but that's okay. I'm just going to do this. It is, like I said, it's warm today, but not exactly warm. So I feel a little bit chilly and cold. So this is really helping me out right now. It is nice and warm. So yeah. Well, I'm just going to leave it like that. It's fine. So that is, again, my sister's shawl by Cozyupdesigns. I highly recommend this pattern. So do head on over and check them out if you wish to. Obviously, the mystery knit along is over now, but yeah, it's definitely worth your while. And I will probably be knitting another one. I was on the fence about what I like. I love the look of wraps, but I haven't worn a lot of them, especially not knitted ones. I've never worn a knitted one, so I wasn't 100% sure if I would like it or not. But since I have gotten it off the needles and washed it and blocked it, I really, really love it, guys. I'm not quite 100% sure how to wear it, as you can tell. But that's just because I'm not used to really wearing shawls or anything. So yeah, I wasn't sure at first, but if you go on to Instagram and you actually search my sister's shawl hashtag, there's actually some like pretty good ideas on how to wear it. Some different people have shared their projects and how they wear the shawl, so, or the wrap. So it helps. So I kind of just like putting it over my shoulders like this and kind of doing that. I don't really like wearing it like a scarf. I'm not big into scarves really, but yeah, just mess around, play with it, and I gotta get the lacy zags because I think that's the best part of the pattern. I love it. So anyway, I'm gonna stop fussing with it right now and move on. So totally love it. Highly recommend the pattern. And I guess I just gotta say something really quick. Washing and blocking is your best friend in knitting. I know a lot of podcasters say that, and I've been knitting for a while, but I've honestly, I never gave it really a second thought. I don't know why. I don't know. I just never washed and blocked anything, so it didn't matter if it was socks. I really only started knitting shawls of late, so I can't really speak on that. But the stuff that I have knitted before, I guess I was knitting a lot of baby stuff and hats and such, but I never really blocked anything. And I must say that over the past couple months or so, I have washed some socks and I've blocked them, and my Serial socks are an example. They have that cable design and they looked really, really tight. And there was no way that those socks were going to go on my feet. I'm an 8.5, but I have like a wide foot. So I was like, there's no way that this sock is going to fit me. But I washed it and blocked it, put it on the sock blockers, and they fit me. So that's really amazing. I'm now wondering if some of the socks I gave away before would have actually fit me if I washed and blocked them. So yeah, I hold true to this now. If you knit anything, especially something that has lace in it or cables or anything of the sort, do take the time to wash it and block it, because it is really a great thing to do. It's going to really open that lace up. It's going to make the yarn bloom, shall we say, and makes it so much softer. So it's really your best friend. So I just wanted to share that in case some of y'all were like me and you've been knitters, but you just haven't washed and blocked anything. So do try it. It is worth it. So yeah, there's that. So this is the first finished object I have. I'm just referring to my show notes because I have quite a bit here. Okay, so my next finished object I have is just a little pair of baby socks. So I have this jar on my table, and it's just holding like scrap yarn. So if I get done with something, I just roll it up into a little ball and I put it in this jar. So I think a couple episodes back, I had shared with you I had an old skein of Blue Moon Fibre Arts yarn, and it was gifted to me by my mom, and it was rather special to me, so I knit myself a hat with it, which I shared. So I still had quite a bit of it left, so I decided that I was going to take some of it, and there's still 2 little balls left. I was going to take some of it and make a pair of baby socks. So I don't know who these are going to be for, but I'm just going to put them away in my gift box for now, and once that special little one comes around, not by me, I'm not pregnant. It's just the way I said that made it sound it. But once a special little someone comes around, then these will be gifted for them. But here is what I have. This is the Cozy Little Toes pattern, which is by Judy Kaethler. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm going to list the pattern and the lady's name under here, but I think it's Judy Kaethler. So it's a super cute little pattern. They are for a newborn size. The only difference of the pattern to what I did, it is a free pattern. I can't remember. It might be paid for. I can't remember now. I'm sorry. The only difference is that she knits the cuff a little higher and folds it down, which is really, really cute. And now that I've made them, I kind of regret not doing it. That's cute. It is cute, but I kind of just wanted to do it this way and not fold it down. But I realized after, when I was reading, I think the pattern or somebody's description, like somebody else's project, they said that when you roll it down, it actually helps keep it on the baby's foot. So I kind of wish I had seen that before I knit them, but that's okay. They can still be folded down. It just won't be as high, but anyway, super cute. I think the whole sock has ribbing around it. I might have modified it a bit differently, but it has a gusset and a little rounded toe. They are super cute. I really love them. I would have used my 2.25s on these, I think. I will create a Ravelry page for it. I haven't yet. I thought I did, but I didn't. But whatever the pattern calls for is what I did. So yeah, there we go. These are fingering weight, just in case I didn't say that. Super pretty. My camera is, again, playing tricks because this looks like a really bright green, and it's not. It's more of a teal color. Still don't know why my phone does that, but yeah, this yarn is some pretty nice stuff. I really do like Blue Moon Fiber Arts. I used to work with it before and I loved it. And yeah, this one is just some pretty jewel tones. I don't know what the colorway is because I can't find the ball band, but it's really nice stuff. So hey, there's that. So that's one finished object. I have another finished object, and it is a pair of socks, and it is my Rita socks. I finally finished them. So here it is. So this is the Rita Socks by Danielle George. She has a podcast, Little Bobbins, and she just released an episode last week. So if you have not seen it yet, do head over and check it out. It was really, really amazing. It was so nice to see Danny back. I really missed her, and I really enjoy her podcast. So yeah, this is part of her vintage love story collection. She started a collection of 3 sock patterns. So the first was Cyril, and then this was Rita. So it's just a beautiful sock that has this diamond texture on it. And I cast it on, actually made a mistake. I cast it on 2x2 ribbing, and I cast it on 64 stitches on a 2.0 millimeter needle. And I started to knit down the leg, and I got so far and I realized that I wasn't liking the fabric I was producing. It was going to be way too loose on me. So I ripped back to the cuff, and I decreased down to 56 stitches, and then I started the pattern. So I ended up repeating that on both socks so they would be the same. So yeah, that's the only thing I did differently. Oh, actually, that's a lie. I did the toe differently. So I did the leg, 56 stitches, did the heel that she calls for, which is a gusset heel with a partridge. And then for the toe, I followed the Smooth Operator Socks pattern by Susan B. Anderson, and I did the toe that she provides in that pattern. I really, really enjoy the pattern. It's just a plain vanilla sock pattern that that Susan B. Anderson came out with. It was $6 Canadian, I believe. It's worth every penny to me because it has some really neat techniques in it. It shows you how to do an afterthought heel and some different decreases, and yeah, it's really nice. So I really, really enjoy her pattern, and I do recommend you go check it out. But yeah, this has been my default toe for a while now, and I incorporated it into the sock. So yeah, only thing I didn't follow in pattern was this and the cuff, just because I messed that part up. But everything else is the same. Totally love them. I have yet to wash them, but yeah. I don't know if these are going to be for me. Sorry guys, the video just cut out. I don't know if these are going to be for me, but they're really nice. I did this in some Allison Barnes. This is her basic sock base in her Morning Mist colorway, which is a pretty minty green, and that is true to color. So yeah, totally love those. So there's that. And I'm sorry if I hit the tripod because I got a full table here. Okay, so the next thing I have to share with you guys is some hats. So the last time I podcasted, I had casted on the Beloved hat, and I am not going to say the name of the designer because I would just butcher it. So I'm going to list the pattern name and the designer in the bottom here. So this is a free pattern, I think. And all it is a seed stitch hat. And I had this yarn, which is Knit Picks tweed, city tweed, I think it's called. Dongle tweed. I think it's city tweed. Regardless, I had this in my stash and I wanted just a basic, somewhat basic hat to knit, and I found this pattern and I thought it was perfect. So there it is, and I totally love it. So it is a chunky weight yarn, so it works up rather fast, and I followed everything to pattern. So you can head on over to my Ravelry page where you can find the needles I used and all that, or I just pretty much followed what was in pattern. So yeah, this is an adult small, I believe. And then I still had quite a bit of yarn left over when I was done, and I decided to cast on a newborn size because the pattern does have newborn size as well. I had 45 grams left of yarn, and I think it takes 50 grams for a baby hat, the pattern said. Well, I was able to get the baby hat at a 45 grams, and I might have still had a little bit. But yeah, same thing. I might have cheated and did the ribbing a little bit shorter. Maybe that was the difference. I don't remember, but yeah. So cute. So we kind of have a matching mommy and baby set. So that is cute. So there's that. And let me see. That is all. So that's all I have for finished objects. Next, I'm going to go on over into works in progress. So the first thing I have to share with you guys is my next pair of socks. So as soon as I got Rita off the needles, I had picked out a new yarn to cast on the Forever and Always socks, which is the third and final pattern in Danny's Vintage Love Story collection. So I was watching her podcast and she showcased her sock, and I never realized how beautiful it was. Like, as soon as the pattern came out on Ravelry, I bought it, but I didn't really want to look at it too closely because I wanted to knit Rita first and then cast those on to knit them. So yeah, I didn't want to look at it too closely, but they are really beautiful. So casted Rita off, got my yarn ready, and I finally got to cast on the Forever and Always socks. So they are being housed right now in a me-made bag. This is my kitty cat bag. And I ended up picking this pin up in PI. It's my first enamel pin, and I couldn't resist. It just says Canada 150. Yeah, whatever. So here we go. So something else that I did this week, I got no sewing done this week at all. But what I did do is I had made these DPN cozies, and I needed some snaps because the snaps that I had, they weren't really what I wanted. So I ended up going on Amazon and ordering a big 350 piece set of these plastic snaps. So put them on a couple of pre-made DPN cozies that I had, which both pretty much look the same. So I got my sock in this one. I'm thoroughly enjoying them. I really like it. So there's that. So here is my Forever and Always sock. Now this color is not true at all, guys. This is more of a teal color. So maybe tomorrow when the sunlight is out, I will try to get a better picture of this and my camera will pick up the true color. And I will post that on my Ravelry project page. But here is the sock. And as you can see, it has this pretty 1x1 twisted rib. And then it starts up into this beautiful cable. Now this is the part I didn't know. I knew it was a cable pattern, but I didn't know that half of the cable was in like stockinette and the other half was in purl stitches. How pretty is that? I love it. So that's what I have so far. So I have one repeat done. I have a few more to go, and then I'll be done the leg. But yeah, it's just this simple little cable pattern, and then the rest of the sock is just in plain stockinette. So it flies by very, very quick. I casted this on yesterday, I think, and I was able to get all this done in just a couple hours. So it does go by very quickly because I think it's like a 24 row repeat, but it goes by super, super quick because this is on not very many stitches at all, and then the rest is just plain knitting. So it's going by very quickly, and it's quite addicting because once you get one part done, you want to get the next part done. So I just have a little family tree on here. I got this from Sharon of, and I still think I'm saying it wrong, Cozyupdesigns. She has an Etsy shop. She is from Alberta, Canada, and I really, really love her stitch markers. So this is one that I got from her. So I put it on there. Thought it was very fitting because, you know, vintage love story collection, family tree. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like that. So anyways, this is what I have done so far. So I'm enjoying that. The yarn that I'm using is just some Lion Brand sockies that I have. And it is nice. I would say that it has the consistency or like the feel of the opal sock yarns. So it's definitely not merino soft. It's got more of that slightly rustic feel to it, woolly feel to it, but it's very nice. I do like it. So yeah, there we go. The colorway is Snow Cone. And I'm not even going to bother showing you the cake because it's just going to show up the same color as this, and it ain't true to color. So anyways, there we go. That is, again, the Forever and Always sock by Danielle George. So there's that one. And let me see. I have a couple new cast-ons. And the first one that I have to share with you is a new hat. So I bought this pattern, I'm going to say a couple months ago. I don't even remember how I found it. Most of the patterns that I find are through podcasters, but I don't quite remember how I found this pattern. Regardless, I saw it and I instantly fell in love with it. So I'm going to share the yarn with you first. This is one of my new stash acquisitions that I got in PI, and it is a new to me yarn. I've actually never heard of it before. So it is the Naco Alpaca, and it is 10% alpaca and 90% premium acrylic. So she had quite a bit of this in her shop, and at first I was like, I wasn't sure, but then I finally had to pick it up because it feels really, really nice, and I really love this color too. So what's the colorway name? Okay, it doesn't have a colorway name, but it's got a number. So yeah, I picked this one up and I put it down, and finally my boyfriend was like, would you just get it? Because you keep picking it up. And yeah, I just loved it. So it's slightly darker than what it's showing up as because the lighting sucks and it's blowing it out. But okay, that's a little bit more true there. But the color number is 72087, and it's this very, very beautiful goldy, mustardy type of color. It is so, so pretty. and I've been wanting a color like this for a while. So I picked it up, and I don't know if you could tell, it's got this beautiful halo to it. It is so soft. It's kind of got a rustic feel to it slightly, but it is nice. It's not scratchy or itchy at all. It's very nice stuff. So I decided to cast on, it is a worsted weight, so I decided to cast on the Sweet Almond hat by Marianne Heikkinen. I'm just going to put it down here because I don't want to butcher her name, so I will list it down here. But it is the Sweet Almond hat, and it has these beautiful cables and some lace, and so far I have gotten this much done, so I just cast it on like the brim of the hat. But as you can tell, it's got some ribbing, but it's also got some cable work in there as well. So it would help if I showed you the right side out. Oh my gosh. There we go. Now that looks better. Sorry. So there we go. It's got some beautiful cables and some ribbing. And I'm just now starting, I switched up to the bigger needles, and I'm just now starting the body of the hat. So yeah, haven't gotten too far on it yet, but I'm really loving it. I'm loving the yarn and the color, and I can't wait to see it done. It's really pretty. So I'm using a worsted weight yarn, but I'm using the recommended needles and such. The pattern though, it calls for, I think, a DK. It's stranding with mohair. That's the only difference. So it might be a strand of mohair and a strand of fingering. I can't quite remember, but if you check it out, the pattern out, it will tell you correctly. But I'm pretty sure it's stranded with mohair, and it looks really pretty and nice. So I don't have any mohair yet. It's something I do want to get and try out soon. But I thought the alpaca, since it gives like a nice halo, that it would look pretty nice too. So yeah, that's what I got so far. So I hope to get some progress on this soon. So there is that one. And then I have 2 more to share with you. So they are new cast-ons as well. I couldn't resist. So this is in another Me Made project bag, which you guys have seen before. So this is the same fabric and lining that I used for my DPN holders. So in this bag, it is home to my new cast-on, and I am super excited about this one. So this yarn here, and again, it's a green color, so my computer is gonna mess with it, but it's an emerald green. That's how I would describe the color, and it's a tonal, and it's so pretty and beautiful. I picked this up 2 years ago when I went to Fredericton for my rehabilitation at Stan Cassidy, and they do have a Cricket Cove there. So my local yarn shop in Moncton, Cricket Cove, actually has a sister store in Fredericton. So one weekend I went down there and I spent time there, and I met this wonderful lady that works there. I forgot her name, and I've been trying to find, because I did subscribe to her podcast. Her and her friend actually have a podcast. They are from Fredericton. And it's actually a wonderful podcast. I don't know if they're still doing it though, because I can't remember the name of them, like their podcast, and I can't seem to find it in my subscriptions. But I could be overlooking it. That's very possible. But if I ever figure it out, I will share them with you as well, because they're very talented ladies. But I had a lot of fun. I got to sit there and knit and chat with her for a while. And this was one of the yarns I had picked up, and I lost the tag to it because I moved back to Moncton, and I've moved twice since then, so the tag has gotten lost. But what I do remember about it, it's hand-dyed in Nova Scotia, I believe, and it is 100% BFL, and it is so beautiful and so soft. It is a fingering weight, and it is it's a 2-ply, so it is a little bit on the thinner side, but it is wonderful. So that's the yarn. And I decided this skein ran 500 yards or maybe a little higher. I don't think it was 550 yards, but definitely over 500 yards yarn. And I knew I wanted to make a shawl with it. But most shawls either called for like 460 some yards or a little less, or some shawls called for over 500. So I never really found one that I wanted to knit this yarn with. So finally, I was looking on Ravelry again, and I saw the new pattern, or relatively new pattern design that the Cozy Up sisters came out with, and it's their triple treat shawl, and it is actually 3 patterns in one. So you can do a triangle, you can do a crescent, or an asymmetrical. So I decided that I wanted to try a crescent shaped shawl because I've never done one before, and I've never worn one before, but they look like they wear rather nicely. And Jamie really likes the crescent shawl, so I'm thinking that I might as well. It looks really nice. So I'm just going to try to get it untangled here a bit. I have it on a smaller cable, so I might not be able to stretch it out too much. But here's what I have of it so far. And it is working up beautifully. So I will do this so you can see. It's got this beautiful kind of eyelet section, and then we have the drop 'em section, which are these beautiful drop stitches. And I think I have done drop stitches before, but the project, I never finished it, I don't think. But they are a lot of fun. They're not hard at all. They're easy, and they are a lot of fun. So this is what I have done so far. I just finished another eyelet section down here, or mesh, I'm not sure. It's just a lace section. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. I've been working on this pretty much all day. It's really nice. I like it. So yeah, I am knitting this on some Knitter's Pride Novas, and I am using a 3.75 millimeter. So yeah, there we go. Super pretty. And the one thing, this is the reason why I chose this pattern for. One, because you had a variety to choose from in the shape that you wanted. 2, because I really love the design. It's beautiful. But the other selling point for me was you can continue the shape of the pattern for as long as you want to. So you could get to use up all your yarn. And because this yarn is so beautiful, I thought this would be a great pattern for it. So yeah, I get to not only finish the pattern, but I can continue on until I use up most of my yarn. They state how much yardage you need to, or how many grams you need to cast the shawl off. So as long as you have that much left, you can continue and stop when you want to and cast it off. So I like that. So that was a selling point for me. So I get to use up all my yarn, and I'm happy about that. And I just have a cute little progress keeper here. It says Dreaming of the Sea. Can't remember where I got this one from. Can't remember now, but I will link it below if I remember. But yeah, this was actually going to be my take along project PI. It did come with me. So if you're familiar with PEI, I kind of associated the color with Anna Green Gables. So there's like a green theme. You're going to tell from this podcast slightly because there's some things that have been very green, and green is not a color I use a lot of, but judging from some of the stuff I bought, you could beg to differ on that. But anyways, I was like, okay, this is like the perfect project to take. It's a shawl. It's not too hard. And yeah, it came with, but I was just taking in the landscapes and I didn't even pick up my knitting once. So it never got casted on, but it was all caked up and ready to go. So anyways, yeah, there it is. This is my triple treat shawl. And again, I'm doing the crescent shape. So that is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. So do head on over and check it out. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you the last thing I'm working on, and then we're going to move on into stash enhancement because we are already at 55 minutes. So sorry about if it's too long. Okay, so while I was in PEI, I decided, I kind of planned out what I was going to buy. So this was definitely a treat. So I saved up for it. I went on to Ravelry and I was kind of planning out what I wanted to knit. And then I just wrote down like what those things were and what weight of yarn or how much yardage I needed, stuff like that. So I had one big ticket item on the list, and this was the thing I was going to get for sure. So I wanted to buy a sweaters quantity. So if you were watching my podcast back in the new year, I actually bought a sweaters quantity. It was the Peyton's Canadian. And I had started the Kingston tunic by Andrea Maui. And I still haven't frogged that project, but I'm considering it. Yeah, I bought the yarn online. I knew I liked the yarn. I had tried the yarn out. It is acrylic, but I did like it. I went online to yarncanada.com and they had this yarn, and I bought a sweaters quantity for the Kingston tunic, and I really love the tunic. I still want to make that sweater, but I hadn't picked it up because of I was so overtaken by some of the projects that I had going, but also because if I really wanted to admit it deep down, I wasn't really enjoying the yarn. So I really enjoy the yarn. It's beautiful acrylic. I highly recommend it. However, when I purchased it, I thought it was more of a red color, and it ended up being more hot pink. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually beautiful, but I'm not exactly the kind of person that wears hot pink. Not really. I wear a lot of black, as you can tell, and I do wear color, but yeah, not really hot pink. So that was something that kind of threw me off. And also the fact of we live here in the Maritimes, so it has a tendency to have very cold winters, of course. And even though it's June, it's warm, but I still feel chilled because I'm always cold. So I was thinking, do I really want to spend all this time making a sweater out of acrylic, which I don't know how warm that's going to be. I kind of want to make it out of wool. So yeah, those are things that started to go through my mind. So I didn't really have the urge to pick it up again. Hi, Romy. So anyways, I decided that I wanted to get a sweaters quantity, and I wanted it to be wool. So I had done my Jamie shawl, and I did it in Cascade 220, which is a worsted, and it is a 100% wool blend, and I loved it. I really, really did. It has that rustic feel to it, but it is really soft, especially when you block it out, wash it and block it out. So I was hoping to get some of that. Trailside did have some, not Cascade 220, like I had, but the superwash one, which I had no problem with, but I need 10 balls for what I cast it on for, and unfortunately she only had 9 skeins of like one color. So there was a beautiful burgundy, there was a chocolate brown, and the other one was kind of like my almond had. It was like a mustardy yellow, which is beautiful. I was actually considering that, but it was only 9 balls. So I know I probably could have went online and gotten another one, but I don't know. I decided that I was going to wait and check out the rest of the shop first, and I ended up coming across another yarn that was new to me. I had never heard of it before, and I'm going to try to grab it because I'm holding somebody now. Oh, she's going to go. Right. So I had never heard of this yarn before, but it was kind of sitting by one of the exit doors, and I saw it and I was like, okay, I wanted to have a black cardigan. That was what I wanted. Boring to knit, I'm sure, but I wanted a big, cozy black cardigan. I would have settled for charcoal gray as well, but they had this big bag, which had exactly 10 skeins in it. It is a worsted weight, and I will check the yardage in a minute, but I think it's like 200 and some yards. So here it is. So yeah, that's what I picked out. Totally on the opposite of what I wanted. It's not black or dark, it's light, but it is a beautiful beige type heather. So this one I have caked up because I've already started. So yeah, it's just a very beautiful, beautiful cream. That's not cream, but it's a brown color. It's so pretty. It's being washed out. That looks great, but it's not. It is heathered. There is gray in it. It's heathered with some light flecks of gray, but it is so pretty. It's a light beige. That's what I would say, but it's heathered with some gray. So pretty. So let me see if I can find the tag here. I'm sorry, I'm slightly out of sorts today. So the yarn is Galway Highland Heathers. Now, like I said, I had never heard of this brand before. So there's the tag. And it is select wool spun for diamond yarn. And it is made in Peru. So I have color number 3556. And I searched it online, and that is the name of it. I just wrote it down here. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. But there you go. And yeah, it's really nice. It's 100% pure wool, 100 grams, and approximately 200 meters. And yeah, I really like it. It definitely has that feel of Cascade 220. I'm gonna say Cascade is slightly softer feeling, but this isn't that bad. I don't find it to be too scratchy or too rough. I actually like it and enjoy it. So yeah, I'm happy with my purchase. So I got 10 skeins of it. So without further ado, this is what I have decided to cast on for. Now, I already knew what sweater I was going to do before I went. So I decided to do the big old coat pattern by Joji Locatelli. So Joji has many beautiful cardigan designs, but this one just drew me in. So I swatched for it, and I'm so excited because I've never swatched before. So I washed it and blocked it, and I did get gauge. So this is what I got. And it's going to have this beautiful, it's called a ribbed basket weave. I hope I'm not giving the pattern away by saying that, but that's what it's called. So it's an all over texture, and yeah, it's just this big cardigan, and it is a coat. So I'm not going to be doing it to the length that Joji did, just because I'm sitting all the time. So it's not logical for me to make it that long, because it would just bunch up and it wouldn't be very comfortable at all. So I'm not going to do it as long. For the size that I'm making the 3XL, because it does have lots of positive ease. So I hope I'm not making it too big. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I love big things, like when it comes to cardigans and that. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too big, but I didn't want to go the size smaller, which would have been an extra large, I think, and it'd be too small. So I don't know. I think it has like 8 to 10 inches of positive ease on it. I guess we will see. But anyways, that's what I decided to do. So there's my swatch, and I did cast it on and started. So it looks a little weird. So when I got home, or when we got home from PI, I automatically took a ball out and got my boyfriend to help me skein it up. I get him to help me because they have a tendency to like knot in the middle, tangle up. The video cut out again, guys. They like to tangle up and knot up, and I simply do not have the patience for that. He does, though, and he's amazing with it. So I get him to help me with it, and yeah, caked it up, cast it on. So the way that you first start the pattern is you do a provisional cast on. So this is the collar, and you knit one half of the collar, pick up those stitches, knit the other half. Well, it was so funny. I don't even know what was wrong with me. I had the pattern right in front of me on my phone, and I did the provisional cast on, and I chose a method. I've always done it with a crochet chain, and I'm not fond of that. So I did it another way it's kind of like a twisted thing you're doing with the needles. And I did it that way, and it looked like it was fine. So I took this project outside yesterday with me, and I went to pick up this edge, and I did. And some of my stitches were twisted, and I wasn't really liking the way that it was working up. So anyway, I did a little bit of knitting on it, and I happened to look at the pattern, and I realized I had made a huge mistake. So rather than casting on the correct amount of stitches, I cast it on double. I have no idea how that happened. I was really tired when we got home, though, so that's my excuse. But I had to rip it all back out and start again, so yeah, I would have been a little further. But anyways, it starts off at the collar, so you do have to do a provisional cast on. And then you cast on for the back, which I have done here. And you can see that beautiful texture. And it does have short rows in it. And I have that done so far. So not much done so far, and it is in a weird place right now, but this is what I have done so far. So I am loving it. So can't wait to have this done, because I am super, super excited to see how it works out. I've never done a sweater in this construction before. I'm used to doing raglan sweaters, and I've done some bottom-up sweaters before and cardigans, but I've never done this construction before, so I'm slightly nervous, but I'm taking it step by step and thoroughly enjoying it. So hopefully I get it done before the cold weather sets in. That's my hope, because I can't wait to wear this. I will probably be wearing it all the time. So I just got like a little butterfly stitch marker. This is again from Sharon of Cozyupdesigns. So my plan with this sweater, or cardigan I should say, it doesn't have buttons. I don't think I mentioned that. It's just got this big beautiful collar on it, which I believe you're knitting as you go, I think. It's got drop shoulders. Go check out the pattern. It'll be more informational than I am. But I think you're knitting it as you go. Not sure. I didn't read too far ahead in the pattern. I'm just kind of taking it step by step. But yeah, I can't wait to have it done. My plan with this, though, because of my track record, I'm going to try to take out a little time every day, or at least a couple times a week, to work on it. I like having different things on the go because it keeps my interest. So with big projects, sometimes, although I love the pattern and I'm super excited about them, sometimes I get tired of them if I'm working on them so much, and then they get set aside and I don't want to work on it, and I really don't want that to happen. So I'm going to try to set out a little time every day just to get even just a couple rows done on it. But I'm going to try really hard to work on this. So if some weeks I'm monogamous and I'm only showing this, I apologize. But I'm going to try my best to get this done. So I'm excited for it. So I've rambled on enough about that one. But this is the Big Old Coat by Jorge Locatelli. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm considering, because I'm not going to be doing the whole length of it. The size that I am doing, I believe it did call for 10 balls, so that's what I got. But something I'm considering about doing is doing a split hem on it. I have an idea of how I want to do that. I've never done it before. So the Kingston tunic starts off with a split hem, but it's being worked bottom up and in the round, and I didn't even join for the body on that one before I stopped. So I'm not 100% sure how that's gonna go, but I have an idea of how it's done, and I might actually play around with it to see if I can do that, because it might be a little bit more comfortable since I'm sitting. So I don't know, we'll see when we get there. That's a while off still. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get my butt moving here. We are an hour and 12 minutes in, and I still have one more portion of the podcast to share with you. So it's just gonna be stash acquisition. So if that's not your thing, I will say goodbye for now. Do tune in next week or 2 weeks. I have a bad track record. I try to do it every week, but some weeks just do not work out. So I will see you then. Head on over to Ravelry and join my group for show notes and lots of other fun, and have a great week. But if you want to see stash acquisitions, stay tuned. So I had lots of fun at PI, like I said. So yeah, my little list that I said I made, that pretty much fell apart. As it would. I still had in the back of my mind what I wanted to get, though. It wasn't anything big. I think I might have had 4 different things written down. So my goal was the sweater yarn, for sure. That's what I said. That was my big ticket item. That's what I wanted to get for sure, and I did. So I was happy about that. I knew that I wanted to get some more fingering yarn to make some shawls. and some sock yarn. So I did that too. Just going to take a drink of tea because my throat is starting to get sore. So, when I first went into the yarn shop, there was a display with all the needles that she had. So I was looking at those. I was kind of interested in getting some Addy Flexi Flips. I think that's what they're called. I was interested in getting some of those, but I don't think she had any. And if she did, I think they were higher up. Couldn't really see, but it's all good. So I decided... Sorry about that, guys. My boyfriend just got home a little early. I didn't realize it. I lost track of the time. So one of the first things that I picked up was a set of DPNs, and these are the Knitter's Pride Zings. As you guys know, I love them. Now I did want to buy the set of these, but I couldn't resist, and I don't even know if they sell the this big of a size in the set, but I got the 4.5s. And I bought them specifically for my sweater because that's the size needle I'm using. So I would want them for the sleeves because I hate magic loop. So usually I do my sleeves on DPN. So I specifically got these for the sweater. But that's great too because this will be for hats as well when I go to decrease. So I got a set of those. As I was saying, the Addy Flexi Flips is something that I was looking for but didn't see that I knew of, so I just didn't bother. But that's okay. Whenever I knit socks or anything, I do like using DPNs anyway, so it doesn't matter. So the next thing that I saw, because it was kind of right next to that display of needles, was another new to me dyer. And I'm not sure where she is from, but it is Log House Cottage Yarns, and this is her Stitch Palette Mini Skein box set, and it is in her squishy sock base, and yeah, it is so pretty. And you know what? That's pretty true to color. How beautiful is that? So pretty. So there is the tag, and I'm sorry for the glare. So beautiful. And I will just show you from the back because you can see it a bit better. Okay, there we go. How pretty is that, guys? So beautiful. So there was several different colors. They had this beautiful rainbow set. So they were beautiful bright colors. There was like an electric blue, I believe, and there was like a beautiful yellow, sunshine yellow, hot pink. That set was gorgeous. There was this one. There was some browns. There was blacks and grays, and there might have been a blue set as well. And they all kind of had the same theme, so it went from light to a little bit darker, and they were speckles and semi-solids. They were just gorgeous, so I couldn't resist. I went back and forth, and finally I picked this green one just because, I don't know, it was calling to me. I loved it. So I'm just going to take him out really quick here, or at least just the one. I don't want to mess it up. But it also comes with this beautiful stitch marker, and it also came with I didn't realize it until we got home and I took them out to look at them, but there was like 2 little candies. So there was like a lifesaver and a maple candy, so that was really cool. So new to me dyer, and I can't wait to get these all skeined up. I do know what this is going to be, and I'll share what it will be in a moment, but do check them out. She did have some skeins, like big skeins of their yarn as well, and they're very pretty, but I didn't get any of those. So what this is going to be is a shawl. So I got this one as well. This is Zen Garden Yarns, and I do have the tag, but it must be over on my desk somewhere. I already caked this one up, and it is a beautiful limey green color, and it is speckled, and it is so soft. So I wasn't really thinking at the time. I thought this was going to be a pair of socks. But once I got home, I decided that I was actually going to pair the two together and make a Katie shawl. I already got the pattern, so I'm thinking this is going to be my main color, and then I'm going to use the mini set to do the sections. So yeah, I think it's going to look beautiful, and I can't wait to see it. So that's what this is going to be. So that's something else that I got there. The next thing that I picked up was some sock yarn, and I was really hoping that they would have some Regia, Arnie, and Carlos. They did, but I wasn't too crazy. I think they had 2 or 3 different kinds, and I wasn't too crazy about the colors, so I decided to try something different. So this is what I got. Now the ball band just fell off of this one, but this is the Comfort Sock and Wool, and I have heard of that before, but I've never used it. So there's the tag. And this one, I don't know the colorway name at all. It's made in Italy for H&W Germany. It's a 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide. And I guess that would be the colorway number. Not sure. So it would be 216.02. I don't know. Anyways, it's this beautiful skein right here. It was so pretty. Definitely had to take this one home. It is not that bright green. It is a little bit more on the bluey side, but it is really, really pretty. And I can't wait to cast these on. So these might be my next socks. So I got that one. And then I picked up this one as well. This is another Nako boho, which is new to me as well. So that's the same as the alpaca one that I'm using for my hat, but this is the sock weight. So this is 75% wool and 25% polyamide. And the color number is 81265. And that's pretty true to color. For once, the greens are actually coming out the way they should. So yeah, I really, really like that one. So I picked those up. So those are going to be some new socks. And then I picked up, she is just making her debut here today. I picked up some Cascade Heritage sock yarn. And this is, let me see, color number 5652. And it's again that very pretty mustardy color. Everybody seems to be knitting with this color lately, and I've really, really loved seeing what they're doing with it. So I just had to have some too. It's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So this one here actually has a purpose. My April sock yarn I got from Allison Barnes, the one I hadn't used yet, I'm thinking of pairing